Hey everyone, it's Andrew and we're back for part 3 of the symmetrical design. As you can see on the top here, I've cut off the top portion of the supports and I've filed it down to make it nice and smooth. So that'll make it way easier if you do that ahead of time. I'm going to be using a 2x1 rectangular wire, dead soft, and also a length of 18 gauge Argentium half hard. I'm using about a 2-inch length of each of those. And I'm also using some wire clippers and also my flat nose pliers from my soldering station. That's why they look a little burnt up, is because they are. And so the first thing we're going to do is shape up the dangle bail, that dangle top portion, out of the 2x1 rectangular wire. We're going to bring those ends around and form the oval, as you can see there. Then we're going to take our flush wire cutters, and what I love about these is that they have a flat edge, which allows you to cut a flat edge onto your wire. So long as you're using that flat edge and then, the divoted end is facing outwards, you'll cut a nice flat edge there so that way you can bring those together and form this part of the bail. Let's go ahead and bring those together. I find myself needing to flatten the top and then also kind of that bottom portion and then also pinching them together. Then flatten those top and bottom portions again. I guess those would be the sides. But those longer portions, I find I need to flatten them out and then pinch the outer ends together to bring them flush together like this. And once you've adjusted them and brought your ends all the way in together, to make sure that they're touching, you'll be ready to solder that together. Again, I'm pinching those ends in to bring those flush ends together. Once it's all nice and neat, you're ready to rock and roll with the soldering. I will add another Rio number for this third hand, as it's what they call it on their site, to the, I'll add that to the description. This is really great for, fusing components together. I'm going to end up getting 1 or 2 more of them in the future. I'm also using some handy Flux, and I'll put another Rio number in the description as well for that. So after you apply some of the Flux to this 2x1 rectangular wire, you're ready to go ahead and heat it up. I'm going to be stick soldering today, which is when you have just a long stick of the solder, and after you heat up the metal, you just attach a little bit of the solder to the metal. I admittedly used a little too much solder for this one. You could use a little bit less. You could also clip off a section of solder and then attach that using the paintbrush and the Flux. Attach that little piece of solder to the component and then heat it all up. That seems to be the easiest way to get the appropriate amount of solder onto your silver. Going to heat it up all the way through and make sure that that flux has fused all the way through our little crack there. Once it's cooled, we're ready to dip it in the water. Now we're ready to finalize the shape. It needs to be just kind of brought in a little bit more, and so we're going to pinch one side down, then flip it and pinch the other side together. Now we're ready to attach it to our frame. The third hand is also great for holding bales like this in place so they don't tip over. Then we're going to be using our length of 18 gauge square Argentium wire, dead soft. This is the same material that we used to make the frame, and so we won't need solder and we won't need flux. We'll just need to heat this to fuse it together. We're going to be making a little horseshoe or a U shape, and once it's about the right shape and the right dimension to our frame, I'm going to be clipping off the ends there. I'm aligning it with the length of frame there to just kind of visualize where I need to clip my ends off of. So the other nice thing about the flush cutters is you can use it to kind of measure where to clip a wire. We're going to hook that through the bail and let that just rest down on our ceramic brick, and then we're going to bring our frame on top of that. Once we've got it in the right place, And this would be an instance where using Flux would kind of be nice, because you can use the Flux to hold the frame to that little U shape there, so that way it doesn't move around. Make sure you are moving around your torch as much as possible. You do want to heat that section, but you don't want to overheat it. Once you see the metal starting to look like kind of shiny or kind of liquidy, that's when you want to remove the heat. You don't want to go any further than that. But you definitely want to make sure you're getting a good fusion between that U shape and your frame. We're now ready to pull the frame off and dip it in the water. We've got a pretty good connection there already. You might want to heat it through one more time after hammering down, but it looks pretty solid. Looks like we're ready to rock and roll. This is now ready to throw into the pickle pot to clean up, and then after we remove it from the pickle pot, we'll be ready to polish this. So the next video will be part 4, which will be the polishing process of the frame. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for your patience with these videos. I'm trying to get a lot of different things together for you all, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Please let me know your thoughts, and I hope you have a great day.